Hi, I'm Mash Ponigala, brand strategist at Spellbrand. Welcome back to the series on the hero's journey. In the last video, we spoke about the fourth step, which was meeting the mentor. In this video, step 5 in the hero's journey is crossing the threshold. Now, the crossing the threshold is a step where the hero sets out on the journey and it's like a point of no return. This happens because of the previous step where the mentor steps in and motivates and enables the hero to sort of embark on that journey. In the Lord of the Rings, Gandalf, of course, is the mentor for Frodo, and Gandalf sets Frodo completely on the path to Mount Doom to take the ring and go and destroy it, because if he doesn't do that, then it's gonna, unleash the evil. And he does that through being a mentor. He does that through sort of giving him a plan and giving him the insight into how the process would work. In Star Wars, for example, Obi-Wan helps Luke cross the threshold. But there's also an inciting incident that happens in Star Wars. When Luke refuses the call of action, right, to go to planet Alderaan, and he talks to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan tries to be a mentor, and he does a little bit of the job. But when Luke comes back home, he finds that his home was destroyed by some troopers, and his aunt and uncle are burned, they're dead, right? That is the kind of crossing the threshold point. There's a point of no return. Luke is now dejected. He's sad, and he says, yeah, I gotta go on this journey. And of course, he then sets off on that journey to the planet Alderaan. In terms of the matrix, crossing the threshold is, of course, in terms of how this relates to your audience. Crossing the threshold is your audience commitment to go on that journey to solve their problem. Now remember, this is not a commitment to buy your product or service. No, but it is a commitment in their minds to seek out the solution. Now, it could be your product, it could be someone else's product, but it is their commitment. They're now committed to say, yes, I want it. I want to buy it. And then, of course, they will begin to seek out. Now, if you play your part as a mentor in part 4 well, and through the content strategy and all that, and it's selfless, and you want to really help your audience, then in this cross the threshold, you can provide information that sort of enables the audience to imagine using your product or service and solving the problem, but still from an abstract point of view, right? It's not sales. You give them a lot of value, but you also mention sort of you introduce your product or service and say, there are solutions like this, you could use this. And the really great brands, the ones that have the courage and that really understand psychographics, also offer the competitive solutions. They offer whatever is in the market out there to their target audience as one of the options. They don't just put their brand forward and say, this is it, we have the answer, because this is not a sales step yet, right? Because the audience is not ready yet. They're not ready to buy your product yet. They're committed, but not ready to buy. And this is a time to really build that bond. And you do that by showing courage, by thinking about the benefit your audience has. You put all the options forward, right? So you are playing the role of the mentor and you're educating. Playing the role of the mentor and crossing the threshold is very important. In Matrix, that blue pill, red pill is very significant, because when Morpheus offers the blue pill, the red pill is, let's say, your brand, right? Your service, your product. The blue pill is the competition, or it could be not taking any action. You could just emphasize that, for example. Or a lot of brands do that to great effect. And you could say, well, you could go back and not solve your problem and you'll be okay. It's okay. If you honestly think about it, unless your brand or your company produces some life-saving kind of product or service, most of it is just products that people want and not need, if you know what I mean, right? Even if it's bottled water, that is not a need, it's a want, bottled water, right? So if you think about it, it's really about showing that courage, being that mentor, and writing effective copy. So you got the objections from step 3. You've got the mentor where you're addressing the objections. And in crossing the threshold, provide information to your audience that helps them navigate, that helps them imagine. Now here, in more kind of direct way, you could offer testimonials. So on your website or in your social media, you could start introducing testimonials. These are testimonials from your customers that have already experienced your product or service, and you could do that. But you got to be very careful. Take it easy, be subtle, because this is not sales. That testimonial should be useful to your customer. That means it is useful in helping them imagine, not just useful in helping them say, okay, yeah, I want this product. Crossing the threshold, again, is a very critical step. Be careful with your marketing. This is about building content, writing content, social media campaigns, messaging, the brand stories that you build. They need to align with your target audience and help them. This is about providing information, enabling them to make that serious commitment to finding that solution. It's not about buying a product, all right? Okay, so that is crossing the threshold. The next step of the hero's journey is tests, allies, and enemies. And we will talk about that in the next video.